Okay, so we're going to pick it up from here. I just completed the 3x3 solve and I've got it to here. As you can see, we've actually managed to free up some layers here. For instance, I've freed up this layer over here, freed up this layer over here. Now, how many layers have we freed up over here? Well, you can see we've only got this freed up because this is still here. So ultimately what I'm going to want to do is take these centers and place them at the proper places. For instance, these go here, obviously. This comes out of here and comes up to here. But in order to continue to free up as many spaces as I can so I can just start depositing these where they're supposed to be, is I've got to take these and move it down. So to move it down, the easy way to do that is just to do Red Bull algorithm. So we're entering into the floppy portion of the solve, and with the floppy portion, what we do is we do Red Bull algorithms to move these guys down. So this can easily move down here. Alternatively, if I wanted to be kind of clever about it, I can move this over here and see that I've got 1, 2, 3 that are facing up and just one that's facing down. So with that said, I can just take this and go kersplat. So I've now taken it to where I just have these guys to deal with. So I'm going to move this over here. Now, as much as I can, I'm going to try to maintain my 3x3 solve. Move this back over here, which means I still maintain my 5x5 solve rather. So I still maintain these centers here, or these edges, these edges, these edges. I'm just working within these layers here. Eventually it's going to be torn down, but let's see how long I can keep that going. So let's Red Bull this down. You can see that they don't quite belong in these areas, all of them, but as long as these are facing up, it's going to keep bandaging that whole side down. I think I have more wiggle room if I just take it down. So 2R, 2B, 2U, and L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, two F, LI, 2B. This last part's optional to finish, but might as well. Now, the more that I have them in, the easier it is to move the puzzle, just because it's easy to line it up. So we're still in our floppy phase. What I'm trying to do is I'm going to take this floppy phase and reduce it to a brick, and then solve it as a brick, which is just doing 180-degree algorithms. It becomes a Rubik's 180 type thing. So where do I go from here? Well, by doing that, it freed up one more layer, freed up this layer over here. It would be great if I could take this out of the way, which is going to be one of the steps I'm going to work on next. But in any case, I've got enough layers freed up. This layer is freed up over here, and now this layer is freed up over here too. The reason why this one isn't is because this doesn't belong here, no more than this belongs here. So what I could do is I could start putting these in, or take these and try to exchange these for each other. Well, we can see what kind of centers are available to us. So you've got this main center over here. This is our 5x5 center. Then you've got these centers that are just adjacent to it, then these centers over here. These may still be available to us based on the limited bandaging that we have, because I can move this layer over here freely. And even when I turn it in, say, this direction, I can still move this layer, which means that I don't have any bandaging in any direction. This layer, well, on this side, it's free to move. I can do that. However, if I turn it over here, this center layer is not available to me. It's bandaged over here. So I can't do any of the moving back and forth moves that I'm going to need. Same thing over here. This is bandaged even with this guy over here. This piece here won't let me do that. So that means I can actually start placing these center pieces here and these center pieces here without worrying about any of the bandaging. So I'll go ahead and start doing that. These three can come into here. So how are we going to do that? Well, what if I were to go like this? Turn this here, So all these three are in. Turn this to the side. Turn it down. Move it back. Turn this back up. Move this back down. Turn it up like so. And move this back over here. So I just basically moved all of these in here. Just because I knew that I could free up all those, this whole thing can be freed up. So now this whole thing is in. Okay, so the problem with this side is I had a lot more room, wiggle room on these over here. But with these sides, the problem is going to be if I try to place these one by one, I'm going to end up bandaging things as I turn it over here. Because as I move these down, say I wanted to move this down to here, as I do that, and when I turn it again, once I turn this down over here, I'm going to start dragging these along with it. So that just means that I have to kind of be a little more clever about it, I guess, and place these one by one. What I'm going to want to do is take this pair and move it to here. What I actually have here is I have these three. I want to take these three and I just want to move them down to here. So I'm going to move this in position like this, so that this can face this way. But to make it face this way, I'm going to turn this at right angles. Move it in like this. And then move this down over here. Now I did that purely from the standpoint so I can take this and move it into here. So that's what I'm going to do. Now what my intention is to take all of these that have empty sets with it and move them back up so that I can place them in such a way to move them down so I can pair the three together. So I'll move this up, and now this is in, and this is moved up. Now what I would like to do, if I can easily do this, I'd like to take 3 and move this out. Substitute this one for another 3. Now, is there an easy way that I can do that? We've got these 3 over here. So what I can do is double turn. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this up. But I don't want to drag this one down when I do that. So I'm going to do this to bump it out of the way. I'm going to go like this. And now I'll move this up over here. Okay. Might have been hard to catch exactly what I was trying to do, but I've got 2 empty sets here, I've got a set of 3 here, and I've got the potential for a set of 3 over here. Now what I'm going to try to do is, it would be nice if I can put this in with this side over here, which I think I can. I can go like 1, 2. Well, tell you what, I'm going to turn this over here. And I'm going to turn this here. Now I did this for one simple reason, and that's so I can get my centers and get my edges back. I'm not ready to destroy them as of yet, but that's inevitably probably going to happen. In any case, this I'd like to bring into over here. So what if I went like that? This could end up over here, but how am I going to protect this from becoming an issue? See what happens if I go like this? I like to move this out of the way. Got to make sure this is lined up, or pieces will pop. And I'll have to put them back in. Turn this like so. I'm going to discreetly move this out of the way. Now turn that back. Place this in here. So now this is in. Move this back out of the way. And I move that back. Okay, let's see what the overall effect of that is. I've got all these lined up. and I'm going to try to put them into these empty sets here. Notice this got taken out, as did this, but I'm just going to make note of that and see if I can bring that back in. But I'm going to match up these empty sets with these guys so I can at least put these centers back. I've got an empty set over here. Okay, I'm going to take this empty set, match it up with this empty set so that they're just opposite each other. Make sure these all are lined up. Now, there may be an easier way of doing this, perhaps. I've just not been able to solve this enough times to really work it out because it's, like I say, it's like a marathon. Now I want to take this and move this just opposite here, which I can do by going like thus. And then having done that, I'm going to take this and whip this around. And double turn. So I managed to keep things kind of in the same plane. Now upon doing that, I can take this and this, put it into these empty sets over here. Curse splat. Okay, so right now I'm attempting, like I say, to turn this into a brick. I'm still in floppy modality. And while I'm here, why don't I just take these centers that I brought out and just obscurely put them back in. It's not completely fixed because this edge is out, but it's close enough. Anyway, now that I've done that, it's just a matter of Red Bulling these back down so that I can have something of a floppy. So now what I can do is Red Bull these and these to actually move them down. So Red Bull these. 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, LI, 2B, 2R, and then turning back here, we once again put these down. So everything is flattened now. We have something that resembles a brick, but I'm not really at the brick portion that I particularly want to be at yet. All the centers are where they need to be in that they're within 180 degrees of where they need to be. But now I got to get my edges back. So in order to move these in, you notice that what I have access to is I have access to, these are sort of hallowed, so to speak, although this one got messed up. But these are available, and these are available too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting edges back the way that I would really any large domino. In which case I'm going to use something as kind of my workspace, and then something as my storage space. So for instance, over here, I want to get the yellow and red back. Where's my yellow and red? It's right over, well, this isn't the right one. So where's the right one? Yellow and red is right over here. So I'm just going to take this, going to take this whole area here and move it to here. So turn, turn, turn. It seems to be messing up the organization a little bit, but that's okay. Now I'm going to focus on one shape though, one color. This is orange, yellow rather. This is yellow, so I really want to take this out of my workspace. So I'm going to move this into here. This is already sort of solved. So move this over here, then we go turn, turn, and turn. Okay, I just didn't want to mess up any other yellows. There's no other yellows here. So I'm going to take this and double turn it. Okay, so this is in But that's not where I'm going to stop. I want to get all of these. I'm not going to worry about this yet, but I'm going to get all the reds and yellows, wherever they may be. So where may they be? There's this one over here. Almost destroyed the camera. And move this over here. These centers are going to be easily taken back. So I'm going to take this. Now remember, I'm still operating within my unbandaged areas here. So I've got this in here. Now I'm not going to try to move these into place because they're not going to work. These edges are going to be intimately related to the proper corners. So this is fine and this is fine because it belongs with this corner. So this is about as in as we're going to keep it. So now I'm going to do the next one, which is this. I want to exchange this with this so that I can put the proper blue one in. And I'm only going to deal with the ones just to the side of the triad that I did when I did my 5x5 solve. So let's see. Take this out of the way. Turn, turn, and turn. So where's my blue and yellow? Right over here. So this is going to have to move in. Turn, turn, and turn. So blue and yellow is here, so I'm just going to go kersplat. So this is about as fully solved as we're going to get, so now I'm going to put the green one in. So move this out of the way, turn, turn, and turn. Okay, so the greens, here's a green over here. I don't have any greens here, so turn, turn, and turn. Double turn this like so. And I'm going to move this green and yellow just like this. Now that that's in place, I'm going to find another green and yellow, which is this guy here. So, turn, turn, and turn. And now I have this green and yellow. And this turns in. Alright, so this is about as solved as we're going to have. We've got the 3 with 2 over here solved. This 3 and this is 3 with 2 solved as well. Okay. This is my red. I'd like to put another red one in here. So let's move this out of the way. Here's the red one here. The red and yellow. So put this over here. Turn, 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 and turn. Red and yellow should find a nice home here. And it does. So this is all in. All I have left is this. So let's start moving some other ones out. Turn, turn. Now notice as I'm doing this technique, I'm freeing up more and more sides here. So I've got orange and yellow. I just need the other orange and yellow, which is right here. Double turn it and place this in. Okay, so I've got the base 3 with this extended outward. This one isn't in, but that's okay. That's not what I'm looking for now. Okay, all right, so with that said, I'm now going to take this and move it to the side, exchange it with the white, turn, turn, turn. The reason that I'm doing that is because I want to get this back, the centers back. Turn this over here, and turn this over here. So I got the center back. Okay, so let's get this back as well, which we're able to do just by going like 1, 2. Turn this around. and 1, 2. Okay, so I'm going to continue to follow suit with that, and kind of get my cross, as it were. So this can match up to here. The red goes to the red side. Orange goes to the orange side. Double turn. Blue goes to the blue side here. Double turn. And green is already here at the green side. Double turn. Okay, so I've got this here. Now notice none of these corners really belong where they're at. So if I wanted to, I could put these corners back in, but what I would want to do is I'd want to get these back in, these edges back in. Alternatively, what I could do just to make it look more pretty is put the corners back in. I'll just do that temporarily. So move this over to here, and we'll go, well, what I'll do is I'll move this here, because this and this would really like to exchange. So orange and blue to our U, to our UI, to R. So I put that in here, and I'm really just doing this to help my organization a little bit. This red and green, I want to flip these two. I can do that by putting this where the red and green goes, which is here. To our U, to our UI, to R, and there's the red and green. Okay, might as well put this one in. This is the blue and red. To our U, to our UI, to R, and lastly I'll wheel this over here to put the remaining one in. To our U, to our UI, to R, so for whatever it's worth. We've got these in over here. Don't worry about these as of yet. They represent the very last ones. So to put these in, to put these edges in, I start off with a center, and I put these portions of the centers here, these portions of the edges. These two are in, this is not, and this is not. So I'm going to do an adjacent corner swap so that I can place. So what I'm defining as the corners is this I'm defining as the edge, and these I'm defining as the corners. So I want to put the blue one in here, and it's not there, it's got to be over here. So I'm going to do a change where I'm going to do an adjacent edge to swap these two so that I can put the proper edge into over here. So here's what I mean. To our U, to our U, to our to U, to our to U, to our U, to our UI, to R. Or something like that. Anyway, upon doing that, this was placed over here. And the reason that I did that is because I want to put the blue one next to here, and this next one will put all of these edges just to the side of this middle edge piece in the proper matched up with each other. The center edge piece won't be, but that's okay. We can do edge swaps. So I'm going to do a corner swap to put this corner portion here next to this. That's a 2R. This is my corner portion here. 2R U, 2R UI, 2R, turn, turn, 2R UI, 2R U, 2R. Now understand, this isn't completely thought out because, like I say, haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of working on this. So what's fun about this is that you can just sort of do it on the lamb. But you see these two blues are together, these reds are together, these greens are together. So that fit my evil plan, because now I'm going to do is swap these edges out over here. So this is going to go to here. I'm going to do a swap over here to our U, to our U, to our, to U, to our, to U, to our U, to our UI, to our. Now the key here is the understanding that I'm not doing anything different than I've done with any other puzzles. And I don't really want to do anything different. All I'm trying to do is match things together. So this and this will exchange with the opposite edge swap. So same algorithms that I've always used. To R, to U, to R, to U, to R, to U, and just like that, we've got these edges back over here. Now what I want to do is extend it out to these guys. So too, this isn't in, this isn't in, this isn't in, this isn't in. Well, actually the way it is now is, so in order to call this back into a true brick form, I've got to move these in the proper position. Let's take these corners and swap them so that they can be jutting out. To our U, to our UI, to our, turn, turn, to our UI, to our U, to our, this is turned back. And I did that because for some reason I thought that by putting these corners all in alignment, I can more easily deal with these guys. Because now all I got to do is get these two to swap. So how am I going to do that? Well, I've got all these edges freed up, which is good. I just have to get these two to swap over here. Let's try this on for size. To swap these, I'm going to take these 5 and move it over to here. So that's to our U, to our U, to our, to U, to our, to U, to our U, to our UI, to our. I'll tell you, every time I solve this, something unique happens. Okay, these two gotta swap. So how am I going to do that? Well, let's try the obvious way and see what happens. I can turn it like so, and I'll move it like thus. And so now that's in. I'm going to take these 5 and swap it back here before you can say algorithm. To our U, to our U, to our, to U, to our, to U, to our U, to our UI, to R. So we try to get as much mileage out of these algorithms as possible. And I'm going to just move this over here. Okay, we now have it in brick form. Move this over here. What's more, I still have my center here. I still have my 5x5 centers all done, but now these are messed up a little bit. But this is where we're now going to start getting this back.